Ready?
Ready?
Big? Good morning, everyone. I invite you all to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Anything to change or add, delete from the agenda?
Chair, after speaking with our
Yes.
with White Earth Nation here, they would like to remove 1 and 2 off of the agenda, the discussion of the marijuana and comprehensive planning.
Okay. Anything else? Motion to approve the agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda with the changes.
Second.
Second by Barry. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Carried. Just a few ground rules this morning. We got some business to take care of with our DDA person on administrator, advertising and so forth first. Then we'll get into the discussion with the White Earth tribal leaders. And just note that this is not a public hearing. They're here to discuss their thoughts and request that everybody be respectable to everyone here today. With that, Liza ready?
She should be online.
Yes. Good morning, board.
Morning, Liza.
Morning, Liza.
Hey, everyone.
Liza, just to start off, your information that you did forward to me, the board has a copy of that, and that was also pushed to the department heads as well. So
Wonderful. All right. Did you want me to dive
Yes.
in or? Okay.
yes, I think you should just dive in.
All right. Wonderful. All right. Well, good morning, everyone. And I see everybody in the crowd. So nice to see everyone here and the interest that's is part of this county administrator position. So as you had shared, interim administrator Smith, last week I sent a packet out, and in there was a copy of the draft community and position profile, job description, timeline, and then a cover letter that just kind of covered some of the business items that we're going to talk about today, as well as maybe some ideas for the interview that's going to take place here at the end of the process. So I thought just logistically, we'll just kind of peck some of those things off on as well as, the order of items that we're going to discuss today. And I thought we could first start with the profile. So I know that you've had a chance to take a look at it. I'm here with my red pen, and the idea behind today is to give you an opportunity to provide some of those changes that you want to make, whether it's grammar, whether it's I heard something wrong, or upon reading it, you thought, oh my goodness, we forgot to tell Liza about this. The information that's in this profile, we were able to gather through our information gathering when I was there a few weeks ago, and my individual meetings with the board members and group meetings with the department directors, as well as information that was forwarded to us based on a checklist that we had sent early on in the process. So I don't know if it seems to make the most sense to just go page by page, or if you have a different idea, I'm open to that as well.
I think just start going through it, Liza.
Mhm.
Okay, wonderful. All right, so, the cover page, beautiful picture, and we'll talk about the salary range after we talk about the profile itself. But if you flip to the first page, welcome to Becker County. Are there any proposed changes here?
I didn't have any.
No,
Okay,
looks good.
wonderful. And if there are, we can always come back. The next page is regarding educational opportunities.
Looking it up on my phone. Anybody have any comments on? I guess she's going through. There's Liza. Just speak up here, board, if you got something you want changed or corrected.
I didn't have anything.
No, that looks good.
All right. right. The next 2 pages, healthcare and recreation and events. Did we get this right? Is it an accurate portrayal? Or is there anything that we left out?
I think it looks good.
Yeah.
Covered.
All right. The next 2 pages is regarding the organization. So we talk about the organization. Yep, the page with the picture of the government center. And then on the next page, we have the organizational structure and the budget. Those items were forwarded to us. Any changes here?
On here, it says the board is currently finalizing its compensation study. Is that, I'm just wondering if that's, I mean, we've finalized it already.
We finalized it, but implementation hasn't. occurred.
Yeah.
So maybe the wording.
Implementation.
And I'm also wondering if we have included our comprehensive plan that we're doing with that's not our land use stuff.
I think it's on the bottom.
It's in there.
I thought I was going to say, I thought I saw
It's the
that.
3rd sentence or 3rd paragraph from the bottom. The board is currently finalizing its that's compensation.
Yeah.
Compensation, okay.
Compensation study.
I
So
can't.
you'd like to add comprehensive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be a good
Or
idea.
comprehensive plan.
Comprehensive land use plan.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I will make that change. Thank you for catching that. All right. Any other changes on the organization pages?
She'll get it.
Looks good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, wonderful. The next 2 pages is labeled core duties of the position. This is literally, copy and pasting off the job description. I looked over the job description. I thought it looked great. It was comprehensive. So I don't assume any changes will be made on here. So then that means we can move forward to desired attributes, projects, and goals. All right.
I didn't have anything.
So desired attributes in the projects and goals pages, these are my 2 favorite pages every time we do this profile. The desired attributes were really themes throughout my conversations with each of the board members as well as the department directors. So I want to make sure that this is an accurate portrayal. This is different than the job description. Your job description is pretty, it shows what duties and responsibilities they have, but the desired attributes touch more on, what it takes for this next administrator to be a great fit within the organization, a great fit out into the community that they'll be working with. Maybe some, personality traits, experience that they've had in different areas in county administration. But I'm just seeking your feedback on this page as far as changes that you'd like to make.
I don't have any on that one.
No, it looks good to me too.
And then the same idea behind projects and goals. Again, those were the themes that I heard come out of the discussions that I had. Make sure that this looks okay and is an accurate portrayal, please.
The only thing is, do we have one more bargaining unit now?
We do.
So would it be 9?
We have 9 bargaining
It
units.
just
Yep.
happened, yes.
Okay.
The only thing on project and goals that I could maybe think of is put a sentence in there acknowledging that the new administrator might have some of their own goals that they would like to put in there too, so want to leave it open for them to bring in their own experiences and their own thoughts to improve the county also. I don't know how you would word that, but.
Maybe efficiencies and,
But leave that so, if someone has a unique ability, we want to capitalize on their,
true.
maybe some specialties too.
Yep. I will noodle on the appropriate or language for that, and then yes, I will add that sentence in there.
Or it's possible to wordsmith it enough in one of the existing ones too.
Sure. Okay. Love it. Thank you. All right. If there are no other changes, and please don't let me rush you, there's the last page, which is the position announcement. So this is the position announcement is what we'll use in all of our advertising venues, literally a copy and paste of this. So this is where we talk about salary. Next, we'll also talk about the timeline. I want to make sure that everybody is okay with the timeline because we will post the timeline in our advertising materials. That's the timeline that you'll hold me to. That's the timeline that our candidates will hold me to as well. And I will also keep reminding our candidates, reserve these dates, or you can expect a phone call from me on this date. So this is where we'll want to make sure that we get this right. Before we talk about the salary, I just want to ask about the education and experience. I feel, and I'm just going to say this, I feel that since COVID, the candidate pools have changed. I just recently have worked with another county in their search for a county administrator, and they found that they had to reduce the amount of years of experience just because we're not finding that depth of experience as much. So I wanted to ask your thoughts on that and the potential of opening this up just to hopefully cast a larger pool of candidates.
Liza, I was just looking at that too, and I would say, just like on the bottom sentence, preferred experience, but I don't think it should be required. I mean, you never know what person applies and you just think that's perfect fit and they just don't have the past experience in that position, but you can tell they might fit in quite well. Obviously you want some sort of leadership in departments or workforce in some way, but I would certainly say it would be preferred but not required.
I agree with that too.
I would too.
No, that sounds good.
So I want to make sure that I heard that correctly, that the first sentence that says bachelor's degree from a four-year college or university and 4 years of experience as an administrator or 10 years in a senior department head supervisor role. Do you want to add the word preferred to that sentence? Or?
Well, that's what I was thinking. I think you need a bachelor's degree from a 4-year, and preferably 4 years experience of administrator or 10 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think a 4-year degree is probably required at this level
Yes.
position
Yes.
and preferred more, but.
Because we could get someone that is running an organization right now that would be a good candidate, and they don't qualify if we don't say preferred.
Yeah, I think preferred ahead of the
Mhm.
4 years of experience.
Okay. All right.
Unless you think it could be worded differently to accommodate what our wishes are, but.
Nope. So I like that. The requirement is the bachelor's degree. I often find that we can add a sentence to the years of experience. And I can't think of the exact wording, but something to the effect of, and a combination of experience and education. And it does allow a little bit more room and cast a wider net. So I will noodle on that sentence as well, and then forward that on to the county so that you have that language as well. Does that sound
Yes.
okay?
Thank you.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So the salary range, I think, is the next item of discussion. So like to hear?
I think that's in our scale already now.
Right, and I asked her just a little background. I did ask her to leave that blank just because we haven't implemented the new scale. I'm certainly wanted just to make sure that that was what the board's direction was. We can certainly advertise the new scale if that's the wishes of the board. I just asked her to leave it blank until you had this discussion.
I think
No,
that
I
makes sense, because I hope by July I'll,
Yeah.
I certainly would hope so too, but I certainly wanted to make sure that everybody was okay with that.
yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
So Liza, I can, after board today, I can certainly forward you the scale, the new scale that we are in the process of implementing.
Okay, wonderful. All right. Then just to finalize this whole process, so the timeline, I forwarded that to you in your packet. If you take a look at the timeline, there's some highlighted yellow dates. Those are the dates I want to verify with you as a board. Are you going to be able to be present on May 21st for your selection of finalists, and then June 11th for your final interview?
For May 21st, would we do that during our regular board meeting? Because that is, we have a regular
Yeah, we have a regular meeting.
board meeting that morning.
I think you should have that on as agenda.
Yep.
agenda.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yep.
That'll work.
Yeah, that'll work for me.
Okay.
And then a special meeting on June 11th.
May 21st, June 11th. Yep.
Liza, the only thing that I mean, that schedule works for me in the perfect world, and hopefully everything falls into place and that works. And I know you have a commitment later on, but I don't want to rush this. I don't want to, I mean, if we need more time, I don't have a problem waiting till until you get back and finishes up a little, later in the year. But hopefully this timeline works perfectly and we get the candidate we want. But just so you know, I just don't want to rush. If we don't have the right candidate pool, I think we need to extend, don't feel like this is absolute, then I think we need to take our time and get it done.
You bet.
Get it done right.
As long as it's in the morning.
Yeah, it should, yeah, because we have a RAC meeting, yeah.
So otherwise, I think we're good with the timeline.
Okay, wonderful. All right, well then those are the dates that I will use in our advertising materials. And then once we start advertising, I'll send weekly updates and I'll send gentle reminders of upcoming deadlines. So 1 week before that meeting on May 21st, as well as 1 week before your interviews on June 11th, I will push out a packet with non-public private information regarding the candidates. And I'll ask that you as a board review that information that week leading up to each of those dates. On May 21st, it is an open and public meeting, but I will, because the identification of the candidates is considered private, non-public, there won't be a lot of discussion at that meeting because you have done your review of those candidates prior to us walking in. When we walk into the meeting, each of those candidates will have an assigned number. So when I go around the room and ask each of you, who are the candidates that you're most interested in meeting, you will only talk about the candidates by the assigned number that's been given to them. So after that meeting, the very next day, I'll issue a press release, which will reveal the names and the backgrounds of those candidates. And then I begin the backgrounding on each of those finalists. So once again, 1 week before your June 11th interview meeting, I'll push out a packet again, and it will contain the backgrounding and the references for each of those finalists. So when you walk into June 11th, you'll have a really great feel for who each of those finalists are before we walk into that process. So as part of those weekly updates, though, I will provide just some general feedback on number of candidates, maybe any themes that I see coming out of it as far as what regions of the state or United States that they're applying from. And I'll also try to give you a general feel as well as far as experience of the candidates as well, so that when we walk into May 21st, you're not blindsided by the quality of candidates or the amount of experience and education that those candidates are bringing to the table. So with that, at that meeting on May 21st, that's really when we're going to dive into what you want your interview schedule to look like. And as part of that memo that I sent out last week, I did put out a few ideas. So we don't have to get into the weeds of it today, but I just want you to start thinking about what is it that how do you want your day to look? I included an idea of a community tour that you could provide your candidates,
I think that's
having
job description.
Yeah, I think
having something informal such as a coffee or a lunch with the candidates and staff or stakeholders from your community, having a more formalized interview panel with your department directors. You as the board will have your formal interview process, much like how you are sitting right now up at the dais, and then your candidate is sitting at the long table in front of you and they have 45 minutes with you. I've also seen some communities do an open house where they invite the community to come in, meet and greet the candidates and provide feedback with me as they're walking out the door. And then obviously any other ideas that you want to consider. So just think on those and how you want to proceed, and then we'll really get into the depths of it at the meeting in May. But those were all the business items I had. If there's any questions that you had, I'd be happy to answer them.
Anything else for Liza?
I don't have anything.
I don't have anything.
Don't.
no, I don't either.
Hearing none, thank you.
Thanks, Liza.
Thank you, Liza.
Thank you, everyone. Yep, have a good day.
You too.
Liza, I did have one quick question.
Yes.
And you probably have this on your timeline, but I'll send you the pay scale. And when do you expect this to actually go live? Maybe you said that and I missed it.
10th, I believe.
Yep, tomorrow,
Oh, tomorrow.
the
Okay.
10th.
I
Oh,
was catching up.
sorry, what is the date? Yes, tomorrow, the
Tomorrow.
10th.
Okay, so I need to get you the pay scale. Yes.
Okay.
Very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Liza.
Moving on with the White Earth Nation, I want to start with interviews. We'll always start here, just your name and your position or what your title is for White Earth.
Curtis Rogers, Deputy Director.
Bonjour, mi Bonagabo, Indígena Cause Magazine in Georgia. Hello, everyone. My name is Lori York, and I'm the Executive Director for White Earth Nation.
Good morning. My name is Laura Lee Erickson. I'm the Government Relations Coordinator for the tribe.
Hi, good morning. My name is Jacob Severson. I'm the Land Acquisition Specialist for the White Earth Nation. Bonjour, Limagija, Canês, Indígena Cause, Wabijaishi, and the Dane, the Alpha, the Cause, English name is Eugene Summers. I'm the District 2 representative for the White Earth Nation.
Good morning. My name is Andrea Kimbird. I'm General Counsel.
My name is Cheryl Annie Jackson. I'm the District 3 rep for White Earth.
Sorry, I'm Chris Banner, the District 2 Administrative Assistant.
Thank you.
You want to introduce ours?
You guys want to lead off or more informational?
Do you want us to introduce ourselves?
Pardon?
I know we have nameplates, but okay.
Do you want, excuse me, we can introduce ourselves and what district we're from. We'll start with Peggy here. Introduce yourself.
Peggy Martin, I'm the Administrative Assistant.
Carrie Smith, and the Interim County Administrator, Human Resource Director.
Richard Barber, District 4.
John Okerson, District 3.
David Byer, District 2.
Erica Jepson, District 1.
Good morning, I'm Barry Nelson, District 5.
Well, good morning, everybody. First off, I want to thank you all for the opportunity to be here with you today and share our vision for the White Earth State Forest. There has been a lot of misunderstandings and misinformation around this, and I appreciate you providing this platform for the public to hear the facts. As a lifelong Becker County resident, we've always been good neighbors, so we're looking forward to working with everyone, and we're not, looking at shutting anybody out or anything. And that's all I have to say. Miigwech.
Bonjour. Sorry about that.
Our chairman and our secretary treasurer are unable to make it. Is there a different? Our chairman and our secretary treasurer are unable to make it today. They're currently in St. Paul meeting with legislators. Since I'm not the chairman and neither is the District 3 representative, Annie Jackson, we were prepared. The chairman did prepare us with facts and just some things we wanted to update you guys on. We've been actively engaging with Becker County. Just last night, our chairman attended a committee meeting with the city council. And, I also came to a few meetings, and I was actually meeting with, Becker County Sheriff Todd Glander yesterday regarding, the Becker County Jail and how our partnership with our substance abuse programming is doing. So, we do have a history together and collaborations together, and it's really important. And I know the whole council knows that how important our relationship is, and to continue having a good relationship. And like Representative Jackson said, there's been a lot of misunderstanding and misinformation spread, and we've taken steps to address those. I know I attended a meeting up at the library here. There was a lot of it was very tense, and I was asked to leave and stuff, but I know that probably wasn't the best time to talk with folks, and I know we had a hearing in our White Earth Tribal Court, and we invited the entirety of the public. I know there was some folks upset that we didn't allow media in the courtroom, and I brought my pipe today just to show you guys. Like, traditionally, we don't take pictures of these. We don't have technology around them, and when we when we meet and we talk and we settle our differences, we present the pipe and it's us. You know what I mean? I know right now we have a lot of visitors and a lot of people attending, and but this is our government to government consultation with you folks, and happy to answer as many questions as I can. Like I said, I am not the chairman, but I do have information that I can defer to answer any questions that you have. And then, if you don't mind, I'll just start off by reading off what the chairman sent me here with. Let me go ahead.
Go ahead.
Let's see. So I'll just do word for word. It's pretty much going to be the same thing I just said, but I have participated in numerous meetings within the city of Detroit Lakes concerning this matter. Most recently, I engaged with the city council last night, and I also had a discussion with Sheriff Todd Glander regarding the Becker County Jail. We discussed the effectiveness of our collaboration efforts after the implementation of our substance abuse programming in the jail. In matter of fact, just yesterday we provided Becker County with a letter of support to pursue grant funding. Our partnership with Becker County is extensive and imperative to the White Earth Nation. We operate as a unified community, and I firmly believe that any issues within the boundaries of any of the 3 counties also affect the White Earth Nation. We thank you for the opportunity that you've given us here today to provide information and facts. We genuinely believe that our legislation is a win-win for the citizens of Becker County. First and foremost, our goal is to preserve the state forest for the enjoyment of all. We believe our plan will do that while keeping county revenue sources in place. The current forest is only about 1/3 of its original size. The park continues to get progressively smaller every time a piece of land is sold off. And every time a piece of land is sold off, it is closed to the public. This is a problem for local businesses that rely on tourism and the outdoor economy. It is a problem for White Earth citizens who rely on the forest for sustenance and spiritual needs. This problem will be solved by returning ownership to White Earth Nation. Our people have been connected to this land from time immemorial. To us, it's more than just dirt and trees. It's Mother Earth. It's what nourished our people for thousands of years and continued to care for our ancestors. White Earth Nation is the only entity that can be trusted to never sell off this land. Preserving the forest also means preserving everyone's right to access and enjoy this land. We are fully committed to doing just that. The legislation has already been amended to guarantee the forest remains accessible for everyone to enjoy forever. Not only do we want to ensure the public continues to have access to this forest, we want to improve it. We have plans to expand hiking trails and improve game population. With innovative land stewardship practices, we also want to expand and improve recreation infrastructure throughout the forest, which is what we did at Little Elbow Lake Park. Since we took ownership of this park, we have improved infrastructure, maintenance, and management. Now this park is a highly rated destination that all may enjoy free of charge. We are already doing similar work in the state forest. Since 2019. We have released almost 6 million fish into the lakes. The state forest that cost the state forest nothing. We have built and maintained 5 fishing piers and have plans to build several more in coming years. Again, at no cost to fishermen or the state or the county. We're able to do this because we operate a fully staffed Department of Natural Resources that is second to none. We have 8 conservation officers who already patrol the forest. We have trained fire and rescue teams and answer hundreds of calls and possess equipment that even the state doesn't have. We have a transportation department that can maintain the roads. We are fully staffed and ready to make this forest an even better asset for the citizens of Becker County. That is why nearly every sportsman group is either neutral or supporting our legislation. In fact, the Sportsman Alliance has informed us that they will be testifying in favor of our legislation at the next hearing. Our legislation also requires 5 years a 5-year working group as part of the transfer process, and will consult with all local stakeholders to address any needs and concerns as the process moves forward. We truly want to work with everybody to make this forest a better place. All of this is a win-win for the county by improving the forest and the visitors' enjoyment. We improve the local economy. We believe we can achieve all of these benefits while leaving the existing PILT payments in place, just as we did with the potlatch property. This fact is confirmed by the Association of Minnesota Counties, who supports our legislation as well. With that, I thank you for your time and would be happy to answer any questions you have. Miigwech Chimio.
Any questions?
My understanding is the PILT payments would no longer be part of, they would be no longer because those payments are made by the state. So how would those continue?
The tribe is actually a taxpayer, so the PILT payments you guys get right now is about $3. So if the tribe was to get that land transferred in their name, the PILT payments would actually increase to $6. So you'd actually see an increase in PILT payments.
And also it's part of the tax bill. So it, it's part of the tax bill. So it's already in there.
Elaborate on it.
Go ahead.
So our lobbyist is working with, so we're looking at all avenues. So even if, and I mean, the PILT payments, I mean, what are they, like $130,000 a year that you're getting now? The White Earth Nation is more than capable of paying that. And if for some reason we weren't, the tax bill would help cover those costs. And similar things have happened with the potlatch property and also property that was transferred to us because of the White Earth Land Settlement Act. And actually, the last piece of property that we got from the White Earth Land Settlement Act to complete the 10,000 acre transfer was actually done in 2013. So I mean, this is not a new process. This is common practice. Yeah, and Erica, as you said, Commissioner Jepson.
That's all right.
Like you said, the DNR does not make those payments. So the state wouldn't be on the hook for those payments, the tribe actually would. Yeah, our general fund. So, the state general fund pays their state.
Mhm.
Maybe I can just defer to Jacob if you need clarification on that. He is our land expert. Miguel.
Mr. Chair, just to clarify, those payments, there's no guarantee then for future payments. I mean, you could state that today, those payments will be made. In years to come, it's quite evident from past history that they could be eliminated anytime. Just referring to the casinos, property tax payments were paid for a while, got put in trust, and they were then the tribe quit paying those property tax to Monoman County. I think the state did, in the same circumstance, the state stepped in, paid some money to the county for a few years, and now I don't think the state is compensating for that loss of revenue from the trust lands.
Commissioner Nelson, you have a misunderstanding of that whole situation. So you're familiar with the White Earth Land Settlement Act, correct?
Yes.
So there was a $6.6 million grant for economic development and purchase of land that was granted to White Earth Nation. Out of that $6.6 million, we used to build the Shooting Star Casino, and we purchased 3 parcels. Because those funds were used from the White Earth Land Settlement Act settlement funds, that land was automatically supposed to be transferred into trusts, and that wasn't happening. And that's because there was nothing like that ever happened before. So it was a new process for the Bureau of Indian Affairs. And when we found out that we weren't, because we were paying, those tax prices skyrocketed once we bought those parcels. And the last payment that we did was upwards of $830,000 that was coming out of our general fund. And when you tell our communities that are the most economically deprived, and substance abuse impacts us a lot. If we were able to save, $830,000 a year and invest it into, human services and substance abuse programming and prevention services, that's what we needed to do at that time. And like I said, we're collaborating with Becker County Jail now with our substance abuse programming. So I mean, we stopped paying those taxes because, first of all, they were imposed on us illegally. And those 3 parcels, we paid more for those 3 parcels than we got from the White Earth Land Settlement Act. So it's just, I hope that clears up your question.
Well, it doesn't.
But then there's also, you can also cite the case law, because we actually did have to take Monoman County to court. And it's a fact that we were never supposed to be taxed.
Well, that whole process is debatable. I'm not getting into the casino. I'm just using that as an example of this. This could be this repayment of PILT payment could be eliminated at some point too.
You're missing the point, Commissioner Nelson. There's no funds being used in this purchase as a transfer of land. So we would still be on the hook for the taxes for that, because we'd be owning it in simple fee. It wouldn't go into trust. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I understand what you're getting at, but I don't. I think there is gray area where one could argue that you aren't. If you get that put in trust, it wouldn't be taxable. What I'm just saying is what happens down the road. I mean, I think the intent of everyone on your council might be that, and I don't know that could be held up in court in the future. This is what I'm saying.
Okay, well, we already have properties that we've purchased, and we agreed that we would, pay those taxes, and we've kept our word, and we've always kept our word. So I don't understand where your fear is coming from that we're going to put this property into trust.
Well, I think change in leadership always can happen and always changes point of views of council and boards.
Yeah, so the fee to trust process is a lengthy process. And the only reason that the casino process was sped up is because the BIA dropped the ball and drug their foot. So, I mean, that process could last, 4 to 5 years.
But there is a process.
Yes, there is a process, and if
Thank you.
there was a,
Could we introduce your new member?
yes,
Yeah, hello, my name is Henry Fox, I'm your District 1 rep.
Welcome.
I come from Wheeler by Bagley, so.
You know, Mr. Chair, one thing I think we're all here for the best reasons. I mean, I think we all have goals of enhancing everyone in the county and tribal members. So, and I think our past histories in working together, like you expressed with Sheriff Glander, we have a lot of good relationships already. I think Human Services does well. An example of our great partnership was with the tragedy in Callaway when the train had that collision. I think your emergency manager stepped up and was on site, and it was remarkable how well everyone worked together. So there are lots of positives that I think we can sit on too. This land transfer has a lot of people on edge, a lot of worries, and you know, just speaking for myself, I don't see how I could support it just transferring directly over to the tribal holding it. There's just so many questions that there's just so many questions I think that we have, and change of leadership at your end would impact those. I mean, I think many people have social media accounts today, and if you look at social media accounts, there's many people that want to, I mean, many tribal members that want to get this land and make it private just to tribal members. There are those out there. I think if you are on any social media, you can find that, and if you find that, if that leadership changed and those in that group got control of the council, things could change very quickly, and I think that's a real concern for everyone here.
Commissioner Nelson, I understand your concerns, but it's based on social media, and what happens on social media, it's not very factual. And yeah, you say that you see things on social media that, you know, that tribal members are saying they want to take the land and kick people off, but also in those slew of comments, I hear a lot of racial stuff coming
Absolutely.
in.
And I apologize on those people's behalf.
Please, I'm sorry, I'm not used to being interrupted when I'm talking. But, okay. What I'm trying to say is that, you know, you're basing things off of assumptions and social media comments, and we're basing stuff off of facts and law. So are we going to make decisions based on, you know, just opinions on the internet? Are we going to be factual? Because, you know, you also serve me as a commissioner, because I also am I'm also a resident, and I hold all of the same privileges as everybody else. The only difference is that I'm a tribal member. And I wouldn't want my my non-native friends not able to come with me hunting and fishing like we always grew up doing. So I don't, like I said, like, we're all a community, we're all family, and I'm sure a lot of folks in here I'm probably related to somehow. And like I said, like, you know, we're not going to kick our family off of this land. This land is, you know, and another thing is, like, what would that do to economic development in our region? I mean, we have a lot of tribal businesses that cater to the sportsmen, the fishermen out there. We have an economy on the reservation that's based around the resort industry. You know, we have leechers, we have minnowers, we have trappers, we have all these services just to cater to the resorts. And if that land was to be transferred into White Earth, we would have the authority to regulate hunting seasons. We would have authority to regulate gaming, give gaming opportunities to those resorts. You know, you guys are only talking about the negative sides of this. There's so many more positive sides to this for everybody. But, you know, I guess I can't really go into, you know, more of your concerns, because I feel like I already answered them in my opening statement. And if you needed clarification, Commissioner Nelson, I guess I'd have to defer you to our chairman, and he's not here now. But like you said, this is a government to government. This is an ongoing conversation that we can have. So I would really appreciate it if we just stuck to facts instead of assumptions. Miigwech Mio.
I think I just want to say too, you know, we hear a lot of concerns from people that not just live in Becker County, but that also live throughout the state. And there are a lot of concerns about what will happen to the land. There's a lot of concerns about from townships in the northern part of Becker County. So have you had any conversations with those townships? And also we have a lot of farmers that have a lot of concerns that have land on the reservation, not necessarily with the land transfer, but just how that's going
Commissioner
to.
Jepson, can we stick to the land transfer and not talk
Please don't
about
interrupt.
farmers?
I just want you to know, like, where the concerns are, that we have a lot of people coming to us with concerns, and we want to make sure that their voices are heard also.
Yeah, Commissioner Jepson, we're here to talk about the land transfer.
Mhm.
Like I said, I'm going to say to you the same I said to Commissioner Nelson, is if we could stick to facts and law and stick to the agenda, that would be great. I don't want to get off on other tangents because, our chairman isn't here and he speaks for our nation. So the only thing I can really tell you is what he brought me here today with, this information. So I do have some more information, and I could probably have my staff down there look through these documents that were sent with us and see if they could answer any of those questions. But right now, I'm not prepared to answer any of those questions. I was told that we're going to discuss the land transfer and those concerns. We're not here to talk about agricultural concerns. We're here to talk about the white forest.
So just then, the townships in northern Becker County that are part of the White Earth State Forest.
I just want to add that, in our legislation, it has been amended to include the site remain open to all.
Mm-hmm.
If new council comes in, that's going to take legislation to change it. So once we got that wording in there, it's in there. Otherwise, even if new council comes on and they want to change it, they're going to have to go through these same steps to try to change it back to where we're going to close it off, which is not our intent at all. So that, that's what we are trying to come across here. We're trying to be good neighbors and work with everybody. We want everybody to enjoy it. We want the landowners to know that we're not going to cut off their land. I mean, we're going to be in there improving that. We're working, our DNR staff works hard too. So it's like, it was brought up that, safety. Our police, our ambulances are usually the first ones on site, so it's, I don't see a problem there either. But, when we put that into legislation, it's going to take legislation to change it. So that's a safeguard to everyone. So,
Mr. Chair, what does the term open to public mean? Does that mean you're going to continue? I mean, would that be everything that's currently going is still open, or the?
Open to public would mean, the access that you guys have right now is the same access that you'll get. Historically, White Earth Nation is an open reservation, and since its inception, we've never kept anyone out of our reservation. And then if you look at the Red Lake Reservation, that is a closed reservation, you're free to travel through the reservation. The only thing you're not allowed to do is participate in harvesting practices, and that's because those are reserved for tribal members. Currently, on the White Earth Reservation, everybody's welcome to come in, hunt, fish, and gather.
Chair, if I may, and tribal leaders, if I may.
Go ahead.
I would just like to make a comment towards Commissioner Nelson, or to Commissioner Nelson, as far as the concerns that you've brought forward. I just wanted to remind folks that the current legislation that is being proposed has an amendment that uses the word "or consideration of perpetuity" for the land to remain open. And in addition to that legislation, it's a 5-year work plan. So the land would not immediately be returned. There's a 5-year work group that would be working through the issues and questions that you have in that process. So just wanted to clarify that.
Mr. Chair, at the end of that 5-year work group, if we can't come to agreement on the hunting cabins, on the hunting leases that hunters are using in those woods, what would the outcome be?
So Commissioner Nelson, I believe that that is a conversation that we would have in that work plan and that work group to find out our common goals and what you agree on and how we're going to work together. That was the intent of the legislation. It was not a request for immediate transfer and close off reservation. That's misinformation. So we're here today to provide a vision and some information that corrects that message that was given. And I'll just end it there. Miigwech.
Mr. Chair, I think at the end of 5 years, if parties can't come to an agreement, a mutual agreement, there's nothing in the legislation that says that we have to go back, it's done. I think then it falls on the tribal and they impose their own rules, is how I interpret that. If we can't come to agreements that it doesn't go back to legislation to get a 5-year extension to work through these. It doesn't have an arbitration person that will figure these out. I think the way I look at it, then it goes into ownership at the end of that 5 years into the tribal. Then there's no more negotiation. So does that just ends then with a disagreement, and then you interpret it how you choose.
I guess can I get clarification on your concern?
If a trail or a road or a hunting lease is not, if we can't come to terms, if the 5-year window goes and you can't come to an agreement, that we don't say, the counties say, we cannot give those hunting leases up. Those people have been there for generations in their own right, and they don't want to give those up, and we don't think that they should. And the tribe thinks that they need to clear that out. And that doesn't get resolved, and there's a sticking point on this road or this cabin or this trail, and we can't come to agreement after 5 years, what happens?
Commissioner Nelson, are you referring to easements?
No.
Excuse me. Currently, there are hunting leases with citizens that they have hunting cabins on the land, and they're long-term leases. I think some of them have like 30 or 40-year leases, so that is what Commissioner Nelson is referring to.
Oh, so are you worried about the leases, if they could get another lease, or if they can continue their leasing? Because we do have a land department that issues land leases for stuff just like you guys are talking about, hunting cabins, all that stuff. So, I mean, we're capable and able to do it, and we've been doing it for a long time. So I think we're more than capable of, how would you say it, meeting those needs for those individuals. I guess I'm really just, to be blatant, are you just, Commissioner Nelson, are you suggesting that we're incompetent in handling those affairs, or?
I'm suggesting that you have the authority to stop them, to not allow them in the future.
Well, why would we do that?
Because you'd have different goals. You'd have different goals or outcomes that you perceive as what you would want, or the tribal council at the time would want. That's what.
Okay, we have this 5-year work group that's going to be together. And in my mind and in my heart, I think that we can work something out. It's not our intention to keep hunters off there or anything. And they'll have a voice at the table just like everybody else will. And you get back to agriculture, yes, our farmers are very important to us. They provide us our food and stuff, and that comes to our food sovereignty too. We have food sovereignty on the res, and we're trying to move forward with that. I have no problem with working with anyone. I understand where you guys are coming from, where everybody is coming from. We don't want to just cut people off. We don't want to do that. We want to work with you. We want to figure this out, and we want to come together as one and move forward on this so that the state forest can remain open to all, but also be taken care of in a good manner, which we do because we are stewards of this land. Miigwech mi'u.
Commissioner Nelson, if you, so from my understanding, like, those trails and all those amenities that you're talking about that you're fear of closing, right now, I'm pretty sure they're closed now. With our staff and DNR and our trail specialists, we could actually keep those trails open longer than that they're currently open to now. So I mean, there'd be more opportunity, and I'm not too sure how long your leases are, but you know, we do give up to 100-year leases, and I mean, we could always change that to accommodate you. But I know you're worried about this 5-year working group, so I guess, man, I can't really say this on behalf of the chairman, but I mean, myself as a District 2 representative, don't see any issues with extending the 5-year working group period to open it up. So it, like, your concerns are that if in the 5 years that we wouldn't be able to get it done, or we wouldn't be able to come to agreements, we could, I wouldn't, you know, me personally, I wouldn't be opposed to extending that. So then we could have those conversations, and we could, you know, work out a really good deal that would benefit us all.
Thank you. Chair, what is the county not doing good enough that you, what do you see that we're not doing that you would do better?
It's not the county, actually. It's the state of Minnesota. So the White Earth Forest is a culturally significant place for the Ojibwe people. You know, before White Earth was clear cut, it used to be a majority forest, and part of our ceremonies are that we go out into the forest and we fast. And so my grandfather was actually put out into those woods, and he fasted, and you know, he got his name. And that's something that a lot of our youth need to go through. And we're worried because since you know, 1933, when the forest was established, the size has actually decreased to 1/3 of what it once was. So those are our concerns. So I know we have similar concerns of keeping it open, but we're just concerned about the actual existence of that forest, because traditionally, that forest really, if that forest wasn't there, we wouldn't be able to live on the land. Do you know what I'm trying to say? It's a deeper connection. You know, I hear a lot of, you know, state legislators talk about the forest as if it was you know, a piece of land that we need to make money off of, and that's not our vision, or that's not how we view the forest. We view the forest as a living, breathing thing that has been vital to our existence. You know, like I said, we've been here for thousands of years, and that forest has taken care of us, and all we're trying to do is take care of the forest. So I hope you can understand that.
Thank you. But Mr. Chair, would you would continue logging, or would you not continue logging?
Just for clarification, I am not the chairman. I am the District 2 representative. Currently, we do give. Yeah, so we do the land that we do have in the forest, because logging, that's a maintenance. You know, you need to do that. So
for healthy.
We do that already on the lands that we do own in the forest. So like I said, we have experience doing that, and we're open to continually do that and do it in a good way. Yeah, we're not going to do it for money. We're going to do it for just the maintenance of the forest. So I mean, those opportunities are still going to be there. And you know, to come with this, there's going to be many more opportunities for individual, you know, resort owners, you know, and, you know, they're more than welcome to come to White Earth and talk to us too. So,
Chair, if I may, and I know you may not be able to answer this, but I just want to say one of the things that was mentioned at the legislative hearing, I believe it was putting the state forest into a trust so that the state could not sell any land off of it, but it would remain the same. So that would alleviate your concerns of the forest getting smaller. And we could continue to work together to maintain the forest. And again, I know you're not the chair, so you may not be able to answer that, but I just want to know what the tribal council's thoughts are on that.
Yeah, I think a lot of folks are missing the point that this isn't about money. This isn't about you know, getting land. I mean, the forest is entirely within the boundaries of the reservation, so it's in our backyard already. The issues that we have is that, you know, right now we have no authority over those lands. So we have no authority over our own natural resources that, you know, other folks are benefiting off of. And I guess I'm trying to find the words to, say this, and it's not about money, it's about caring for that land and making sure that, because, I mean, the trust, that's great with you guys, with the state and, the other governments, but, I mean, just like Commissioner Nelson was saying that, what's going to stop them from changing that? And I mean, it's the same concerns we have, at least, if the land goes back to, if it's returned to White Earth Nation, the original owners, that land is never going to be sold. That's our land base. We're not going to keep people out of there. If we kept people out of there, it would be devastating to our economy, and that's not what we're going to do. I just, a lot of these concerns, like when they get back to us, like, we've been reading the written testimony, and a lot of them is really nasty stuff. But a lot of the things that folks are actually worried about is access to trails, what's going to happen to their property, what's going to happen to their property value. I was just speaking with a gentleman from Elbow Lake, and he has a cabin out on Little Elbow Lake not Little Elbow Lake, Big Elbow Lake campground, and he was talking about his access and his property and whatever. And I looked at the maps, and there's some scattered White Earth forest land out there, and then the trails that he was referring to, in order to get on those trails, you actually had to cut through tribal land anyway. So his issues were, after we talked about it, he said, well, yeah, that really wouldn't impact my access or anything at all. And I said, yeah. So, I mean, those are the kind of conversations we want to have, and we want to educate the public. So, because, I think people are thinking, here's the White Earth forest, White Earth is going to get, this big chunk of land, but it's not. This land, at one time, it was one big parcel. Since from 1933 to now, it's been split up into 3 parcels, and then some more scattered sites around the reservation. And, we see that, and we're worried, and this isn't a new issue. This has been an ongoing issue since they took the forest. They said that we were incapable of caring for it. So we invested. We have a DNR department. We have a roads department. We have all the divisions necessary to care for this forest. And if we're able to get our jurisdiction within our boundaries back, we'd be able to do more for the folks that benefit, or the folks that use the forest. I mean, the benefits of the tribe having it is that we're such a small government, we can make things happen quick, very quickly. We can work together so everybody's happy. I don't want to see that forest gone. I want to see, my kids, their grandchildren, they're fasting, getting their names, and participating in their cultural activities. And it's not about money. It's not about greed. It's not about kicking you guys off. We've always been good neighbors. We're continually being good neighbors. I'm really here just to, share with the chairman, but as a young person coming up, I'm worried. I'm worried if we keep going down this path and talking about, influences on social media and stuff that doesn't even happen in reality. It's just, I'm sitting before you right now, and I'm telling you, we're never going to close this forest down. We're not. And I'm telling you, a million different reasons why we won't. But then you guys are telling us, well, that's just you saying that you could go back on your word. We never went back on our word, ever. We ceded half of Minnesota with the 1855 ceded territory. We didn't go back on our word on that. We decided to establish the White Earth Reservation. When Becker County was established, there was no settlers here for 10 years until they established the reservation. Then they pushed us onto the reservation. We've never done wrong to anyone. But we are saying that, we have issues too, not just you guys. We have issues. We have tons of issues, and we work collaboratively and productively to address those issues. This is no different. And now, with the county's support, we can all benefit off of this in a good way instead of the way it's been benefited off of now. You guys are worried about the PILT payments. Like my opening statement, I told you those PILT payments will remain, if not double. And now you're talking about access to the land, and we're telling you we're not going to do it. And we're trying to come up with these constructive things, but we're all coming back to, honestly, it's kind of insulting. Because we're telling you we're not going to do this, we're not going to do that, this is going to benefit you this way, this is going to benefit you that way. We're more than capable of caring for this and that. And you guys keep going back to the fact that, you guys are a sovereign nation, and, you're gonna kick us out. We're not, you guys have access to our lands now, and it's not going to change. We built an economy together, and we're not about to destroy that economy. We're about growing that economy and making sure that everyone within the boundaries of the reservation is taken care of.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I appreciate what your goals are, but there are lands that are closed to non-tribal members currently, is there not?
So the lands that we do have, you're referring to the no trespass sign?
I'm referring to no trespass signs. I'm referring to when Becker County had to reroute trails to access individuals' property. People had to come to Becker County for us to work on, because the tribe has closed trails off that's how they gained access to their property. Those trails were closed, and we had to find an alternate route to those property owners. And it was on tax forfeit land that we rerouted them around tribal land because they were closed. I sit on the Becker County Natural Resource Committee, and we had to reroute those. Those were closed and not allowed access to their property. And that's a fact. Commissioner Knudsen, I think, was on this committee with me, and he's in the audience. That's a fact. That was a few years ago. So there is a concern. I think in another state, there's a tribe that is blocking access to people. There's a state in another state that's blocking access and demanding financial gain to access that. So it's happened before. It's not like these concerns are made up. They're real.
Okay. Commissioner Nelson, I just want to clarify, and then I'll, to your point about the trails, like I said, we have many, many trails. If you could tell us specifically what trails, then we could, because I don't ever remember us ever closing trails other than for maintenance. And I just I wanted to touch on the no trespass signs. So I don't know when they were put up, but I do remember when they were put up because I was a very young man. And I used to, walk through the trails and walk through the woods. And I remember when they were putting up those signs, it was probably in the, early 90s. Those signs, people don't really respect tribal land. And like I said, we at that time when I was a younger man, I think we probably owned maybe like 6 or 7% of our land base. So, and it's not one big parcel; it's scattered parcels across the entirety of the reservation. So, and what I found out is that when we purchase land, we look for cultural specific places to protect. So a lot of those lands that we have those signs on are actually protected, and we should actually do a better job at the signage and maybe putting something different on there, like maybe protected area because of our mashgiki or any kind of medicines. And we were talking about doing that, but to my point. There's ATV trails that go through our reservation, and a lot of times those ATVers have to cut through tribal land. We do post those signs because some of the unique, diverse biomes that are on White Earth grow our traditional medicines that we can't go to a store and we can't buy. They only grow there, and that's where we get them. So we've had incidents where these ATVers tore up all of our medicine, and it's taken like 20 years to grow back. So those are what the signs are for, and just to mark our land, because we do have an early hunting season for tribal members, but then when the state opens, we're all hunting together. If a tribal member wants to hunt on those protected lands, he has every right to as a tribal member. But I guess I'll defer to our land specialist to elaborate on your question, and hopefully you can bring clarity.
Before Jake talks, can I just add, the Minnesota DNR also restricts lands to do improvements and such, so it's like we're not doing anything different. We're not saying we're restricting it forever. But yeah, I think that we need to put signage up that, explains what we are doing with that land instead of just saying no trespass, which, I'm agreeable to. But I just wanted to make a comment, you guys, all the commissioners are saying that, and as tribal council, we can get voted off and things may change, but that goes for you guys too. You're all voted in your positions and you all could be voted off. And who knows, maybe we get commissioners that are for us. I don't know, but it goes both ways. We are all human. We are all brothers and sisters, and we got to sit here and work together for the betterment of all our people. Miigwech.
Commissioner Nelson. So we've done a lot of easements and right of ways through tribal lands to help people, like securing a mortgage and that certain stuff. So I'd like to know where you're talking about in that area. So if there's tribal trust land, it's held in trust. The United States holds it in trust for the tribal nation. You actually cannot do an easement on that property. It's not legal. You have to go through something called a right-of-way. In that process, it's detailed in the Code of Federal Regulations 25, and it's a very long process, very expensive. We just did that through back in 2018 when we were working with the state DOT on Highway 200 in Monoman County. They didn't even have an easement on it. It was just a road they just built through tribal lands. We didn't close it. We worked with them. We got it fixed. I mean, we're talking miles of a state highway and gave them a bigger, right of way. So that's where I'm wondering where you're talking about.
Well, we can certainly find it. I don't think it was for a mortgage. It was just access. It was just an access road that was closed off. It wasn't in, Commissioner Knudsen could probably has a better memory on those things, but it was just, there was a couple instances where it was just closing access off from a trail road that went to their property. And it had to go through, it was an established trail that had been there for, since I don't know how long, but it wasn't an easement requirement. It was just an access because they weren't needing an easement. But it might have been through I think you were aware of that through your, I think Commissioner Okerson had some,
there was some stuff in my past.
from your families. It was,
Yeah.
So. What about, one thing you mentioned is you don't do logging for income. You just do it for maintenance. I think it worries me too, because we have, substantial logging industry in northeastern Becker County. Some of those people are very dependent on those cuts. Currently, I don't think that non-tribal members can bid on your current cuts in your forest. So that would be another concern, that if you're not interested in making money on it, where does the money come from? Does it just? You have to make money to make this a better place. You have to make money, and timber cutting is a good way to make money and manage your forest at the same time.
And Commissioner Nelson, we have other ways of generating revenue. White Earth doesn't have a problem generating money. As you may know, we generate millions of dollars, and every week we have a payroll that stimulates this economy. A lot of our folks, do our shopping here in Becker County, and you guys benefit off those every week. So, and then with the timber, as of right now, we probably don't open it up to non-members because we just don't have a land base. Like I stated before, we've been buying our land back parcels at a time. And sometimes those parcels aren't, rich in timber. They used to be, but they're not anymore. And that was due to, when the lands were opened up to lumber companies and they came and clear cut our reservation. So that, once we're able to like, let's just put this, if, if the land transfer goes through and we're able to issue permits for additional logging, yeah, we'll definitely do that. We'll definitely, and we're capable of doing that. I'm just really having a hard time understanding your worry, because it's like, we only have, 10, 11% of our land base. A lot of it's probably not prime timber. And the stuff that is, there's just not enough to go around. So that's why we reserve to tribal members, and they're able to go in there. And the stuff that they pull out of there, we buy it for spirit firewood. So it's like, it's stuff like that. But I mean, if you're worried about the economic development and how we're going to maintain the forest, we generate millions and millions of dollars, and once we have the opportunity to handle those timber contracts or anything like that, once we have some input in it, we'll make sure that people don't lose their livings. I don't see the worry here, Commissioner Nelson. Those contracts will continue. Like I said, the only data we really have is, the data we have in the forest, that the lands that we already own. So, I mean, once we're able to have access to the rest of that data, we'll be able to make give you a better idea, because, I'm kind of just looking at the possibilities. Right now, I'm telling you, like, why we don't open it up to non-tribal members, and it's because we don't have a land base to do so. I think the White Earth Nation will be able to accommodate any timber sales or harvests on those lands in a really good way, and just other opportunities for folks would be our Class 2 gaming opportunities. There's a lot of things we have to offer to these resorts. And I guess, one thing I'm really excited about is White Earth, reintroducing, the big game that was historically there. We started our buffalo program. We're also looking into, integrating elk into those lands. So I know that's a really, really exciting thing for our hunters and our sportsmen. And, we're going to continue to invest stocking fish in those lakes, in those forests. And like I said, if we regain our authority to manage these lands, those are all just going to increase, and we'll see the local economy flourish because of that. People want to come to these lands because it's great hunting, great fishing. We love it because the Bryce Lake's up there, and all of our medicine's in there. And I just see that it's a win-win, because those things are going to be expanded and worked on. And White Earth Nation is, that's our goal, is to restore this forest to its former glory, and to ensure that everybody has access to it. So, your concerns with the lumber sales and timber sales, I honestly don't even know, because I have no authority the tribe has no authority or input on what happens with those permits. They could give out 100 permits tomorrow. We would have no input, no consultation on that. And it's really alarming, because we're the original owners of that land, and when it was taken and turned into a state forest, we didn't know that the state was going to give themselves a permitting authority in there, and cut down a third of the forest. We didn't know that, and that's why we're worried, and that's why we're telling if these lands are returned back to the tribe, that it will never be closed. The forest will probably plant more. We'll probably try to replant the forest and expand on the trail system, and just restore it to its former glory. I think there's, right now, is that the only thing you guys do out there, is the timber sales? Because if that's it, I was previously the economic development director for the White Earth Nation. And I mean, if you're putting all your eggs in one basket, that's not a good thing at all. If it returns back to us, the economic opportunities just increase in the land. Go to me.
I think we want to wind this up here in the next 15 minutes, so Tribal Council, any final comments?
Yes, I want to say again, thank you all for allowing us to be here. I want to extend the invitation to you guys to come to our table, have a meal with us. Let's sit down and, discuss things. And that's for everybody in this room. We're not here to be against you. We're here to work with you all. And, that's what the 5-year plan is all about. And I keep hearing, what if there's no plan that is agreed upon? I think we can agree upon it. We are good people, you are good people. So we need to come together and we need to work together to figure this out. We have landowners possibly in here that are in the state forest. We welcome them. We welcome all. Come sit with us, have a meal. Let's have a good discussion and let's move forward. Miigwech.
And then I just wanted to clarify, there was a comment made that there's, tribal members aren't allowed, or only tribal members are allowed. But I just got word that we actually have 2 non-enrolled members that are currently loggers in the land we own in the Whiter State Forest. So there's currently non-members participating in that. So I guess I wasn't aware of that until today. So miigwech me.
Any other comments? Commissioner?
I have a question. If you're a resort within the tribal waters now, don't you have authority to give them gaming?
I believe so.
So it wouldn't be anything new that you stated that all these resorts could now have gaming, but they currently have gaming or could have it, correct?
I'm not sure on how many resorts.
But they could have.
Gaming. I'm not sure. I guess I would think so, yeah.
Yeah, this is Representative Fox. I work for gaming with the offsites, and they actually got to be on the reservation. Non-native, like Callaway Municipal, they have gaming. So opening, giving back or taking back would open that up for all the resorts with their license, so.
Within the reservation boundaries?
Yes.
They currently do not have that ability? Like Pinehurst?
Not off the reservation.
Like
the cities, yeah.
Henry, can I,
Yep.
Representative, can I clarify?
Yep.
Okay, so Representative Fox is trying to say that in our, what would it be, NIGA, National Indian Gaming Association, that's who we have to, the tribe itself doesn't oversee that. It's a national organization that actually oversees us and makes sure that we're in compliance. And Class 2 gaming, that's unique to White Nation because we wanted to give those opportunities to folks. And right now, yeah, Representative Fox is correct. You have to be you have to be a member of the tribe to benefit off of that regulation because that's under our authority. But we'd be more than willing to work out any kind of issues with that, or because I think how we get by that right now is that if a tribal member has 51% ownership of a business, then they're entitled to those gaming opportunities. And Pinehurst Resort, those are the Lavoie family is tribal members. So I think that's why they have a gaming there.
Okay.
So yeah, so currently, yeah, right now they wouldn't have the opportunity to have those things. But I think a simple fix to that would just be the 1% ownership or whatever we have to do. Even if we have to go through legislation to change that, I think we'd be more than willing to partner with Becker County like we've always done, and to get those legislative priorities fixed for everybody. So, miigwech me.
Any other comments? Erica? Dave?
No better than anything.
Richard?
No.
I guess you guys, any further comments?
I just want to say, miigwech, and I really appreciate the time. If you guys want to come to White Earth, I know Erica, you've been,
That's okay.
Commissioner
That's
Jetson,
okay.
I know
You're
you,
fine.
I know you've
We're
visited
informal.
us before,
Mhm.
and, we've met with you folks, if you guys would want to come and meet with us, and we could kind of show you, our departments and, some of the state-of-the-art stuff we got going on in White Earth Nation. Want to be really good neighbors with you guys, and I just appreciate the time and opportunity you've given us, from the Village Community.
Thank you. I think, just reinstate, Becker County Board here has passed a resolution opposing this, so until that changes, that's our stance at this time. I know we presented a lot of more information today, so appreciate that. Thank you.
Mr. Chair, I would like to thank you for coming too. I mean, I think even if we don't agree, dialogue's always good.
Yep.
And I don't think that probably either side's going to change completely where they're coming from, but I think we should look at how we can get to common goals. And I think if I would offer an invitation to anyone from the tribal to come down and sit on committees with us. I mean, so if this does not go through, certainly would love to have input on our Natural Resource Committee. And I think in the past, we've had representation in different committee levels, but that has fallen off, I think from lack of attendance or participation in years past. But I certainly would love to have input to say what areas we should stay away from maybe for logging, or how we could manage this differently from your goals. I certainly would really appreciate that input. So, I mean, even though I don't agree with the end of what we're looking at today, I think we can increase our partnership, and I think we have some really good partnerships going on now, but I think these type of dialogues will only improve that. To see faces, to say, I think you have great intentions. I don't agree necessarily with them, but I think your intent is honorable and respectful. I don't feel that I can't support that end, but I think a partnership where we manage it together would be more than acceptable, and I would love us to start at least that level. So.
Yeah, I appreciate that, Commissioner Nelson, and I'm really excited about the offer you just gave us, and I would like to follow up with you on that offer, and any way we can work together. But I just want to remind you, our goal isn't to take the forest or get it back. It's to regain authority within our boundaries, and right now we have no authority, very little authority. I mean, you guys have more authority than us in those lands, so I just want to remind you guys that, and I really do appreciate you guys having us here and the invitation to further collaborate, and I think it's a good thing for White Earth Nation. I think it's a good thing for Becker County, and it's a good thing for everybody that lives alongside us.
Thank you. One other comment too. I go back quite a ways as working with the tribe in my past career as county highway superintendent back in the early 70s. A lot of you probably weren't around at that time. But I worked with the tribe, closing some of their dumps out there, building solid waste recovery and all that stuff. So, and also I worked with the White Earth Road Department hand in hand on a lot of issues they had. So we have worked together over the years, and I think there's certain areas we still can work together. So thank you.
And I just wanted to reiterate what my fellow commissioners have said, in that I appreciate you guys coming and visiting with us and telling us more about what your intentions are. I still have to agree with my board that, I do oppose the land transfer. But I do look forward to us continuing to hopefully partner in some things and continue to work on our relationship to work together. So thank you.
Other comments?
I'd like to thank you guys for coming too. I appreciate your position. I really would like to, like all the commissioners say, that work with you, and maybe we can manage the land better. However, currently right now I'm with our resolution where I'm opposed to transferring land, but I am I'm very positive about hoping we can work together and make things better.
Comments? I guess I want to thank all the people that showed up, that have interest in this issue, for work on. It's good to see it turn out to get more information on it. So thanks everybody for giving your support. Any other questions from the commission? All the members? With that, thanks for coming and meeting adjourned.